Hi everybody, I am starting a really quick class on sigil drawing with different divination languages. I did a very quick class last night on Zoom and a couple of people weren't able to make it, so I was asked if it's possible to make a shorter video and share it with other people who weren't able to make it in the class. Now it's going to be a little different because I really feed off of my students and asking questions and talking about things, but I will try my best to recreate the class experience. So bear with me just a moment and we'll get started. Thanks. Okay, so this is where we kind of ended our class last night. These are some of the sigils that I made. So for the people that weren't able to be present last night, long story short, I was very excited when I saw people making bindrunes. I thought that they looked really cool and they were a neat way to incorporate a divinatory language into symbols of protection and power and various different meanings. However, I don't really read runes. I generally work with the Greek alphabet oracle. And so I was wondering if there was such a thing as a bind rune for other divinatory languages. And while I'm sure that there are, I'm not the first person to have created these, I really wanted to kind of explore how we could use that and make it both pieces of art as well. So, really quickly, I'm going to go ahead and just grab a couple of letters from my Greek alphabet oracle. So my daughter Bean will help me here. Bean, tell me what you would like me to make a symbol for like a feeling or...
How about...
What?
I mean, like kind of like emoji, like heart eyes.
Oh, and I'm not talking about emojis, although these kind of are like emojis, but with the Greek alphabet oracle, I'm talking about like a feeling. Like last night I did one for focus and protection. We could do one for love or education.
Parker's ear is tickling me.
Oh yeah, since the kids got little internet handles, they decided to give the dog an internet handle. So his handle apparently is what? Barker. Okay.
Because he barks a lot. He really does.
Okay. So what would you like me to make something for?
Probably like a peace card.
Like peace? You want something for peace?
Like this.
And
like calming, soothing.
Okay.
Feeling.
Okay. So that's kind of a hard thing to find in the Greek alphabet oracle. So this, by the way, I'm going to do a little free advertising for the Magical Druid. Right here. Oh, wait, just sorry about that. So this is the Magical Druid. They are a local Columbus all-stop shop for things magical. And they created a Greek alphabet oracle like pocket card. And, so it's got one main word each, but let's go with alpha.
Don't eat the currants, Parker.
For everything. I keep forgetting that you don't read cursive yet, and you think it just, what does that look like?
It looks like pretty letters.
Like pretty letters? Oh, good.
It kind of looks like chicken scratch.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so you said you wanted peace.
Yeah, but it's ancient ancestors words.
Okay, things that come easily. We could go with row.
Row. Let's do row. Mommy, guess what? Guess what I found on the YouTube channel?
What?
Mariah.
Okay, well, let's talk about other...
I'm gonna grab
Go ahead, have a great time. homeschooling and trying to do your own things are very exciting. And then I'll go with, okay. All right, so these are the basic three, and I hope that's not too bright, the basic three letters. And we've got several straight lines. But one little lump here. So a lot of times I have the strongest image in the middle. And so to me, the X is the strongest figure, as it were. And what I start to do is kind of extend some of these to make other symbols. So I put in the alpha, and now I have this place where I could do the rho. Okay, that's a thing. It doesn't really speak to me. It doesn't really seem as aesthetically pleasing as I would like. So let's try doing this instead. Again, it's kind of, let me zoom in here. And by zoom in, I'm going to fancily bring my paper up to the camera. Nothing but the finest editing here. Again, that just doesn't do much to me. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my alphas and here
I'm pathetically back again.
you're not pathetic.
I'm not pathetic.
Definitely not.
I'm not.
Okay, so that's still not what I love. We're trying to find, hey Bean, we're trying to find an image that looks cool. We'll keep that X in there.
Also kind of peace-like.
Absolutely, still peace-like, for sure. So we have that. Can I extend this way? Sure. Oh, wait a minute. Let's try something else. I'm getting an idea. Okay. I'm kind of starting to see like a little star. Can I then do this? And have my X's be here. Kind of looks like a star person. Really, what I'm doing right now is just playing with the image until I like what I see. Kind of like that sort of looks like a heart. So this is probably the longest part, is just playing around with these letters until they give you something that you enjoy. Okay, my daughter was talking about maybe like a peace sign. Okay, I still don't love it, but let's start out with that. So let's try and elaborate on this a bit. So we've got the upside down alpha. Also the, oh, why am I forgetting it? Chi, Jiminy Pete's. And we extend the curve of the row. I think that's kind of neat, actually. All right. So, really, that is the hardest part of creating your own little sigil. Now, one of the whole purposes of me teaching these little classes is so that I can help kind of spread the information and permission for people to create things that they enjoy with the cheapest things that they can find. You don't have to have a fancy art degree to create something that is important to you, and you don't have to have the finest art supplies to make something that is beautiful and artistic and meaningful. So, while I went ahead and bought these fine liners that are archival, because obviously I don't want the pieces that I create to fade, you can use whatever you have at your disposal. I'm probably also going to be linking a picture somewhere in here, hopefully when I figure out how to do that, of one of the sigils I made just using highlighters and desk paper. And it is really part of my purpose in life to make sure that people understand they can create something that helps them feel inspired and can help them with their piety out of anything. So I'm kind of trying to just elaborate a little bit on this image with these. Okay, so I have that. I am now going to get out a couple of highlighters and sort of color this image a bit because I like color. And if you know me at all, you know that that is true. I think that one looks more orangey when it gets on the page, if I recall. Haha. Okay. So this is where you get to have a little bit of fun. So if you feel piece is monochrome and you are satisfied with just your pencil or ink drawing, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. For me, I like big, bright colors. And since I am helping Miss Bean with her interpretation, I know she does as well. And really, there is no real rhyme or reason to what I'm doing in this part other than coloring it to bring myself a bit of joy. I apparently did not let these dry quite long enough, but I think it is just fine. So I am filling in just some of this white space, kind of like you would in a coloring book or those stained glass looking projects we used to do when we were younger. And again, I know that the highlighters are not archival, but that's okay because this is not something that I'm going to need to be pristine 50 years from now. But you kind of get the idea that we used all the image and our colors and created a little sigil. And this is for everything to be abundant and peaceful. And that's basically the gist of what I taught last night. Last night I was, spoilers, last night I was going through and I had beta, delta, and eta. And I wanted it to be focus, assistance, and strength. And I really loved how this one turned out as we were kind of talking through it. This was maybe my first attempt to kind of put together some of the symbols. But here is the delta. The eta are the H's, the H-looking symbols here. And then I made the beta, the bees, look a bit more like runic bees. But to keep this with a straight line motif, and I really just like the strength in this image. I tried doing Ogham. Ogham is not necessarily a form of divination I'm particularly familiar with. I see it used all the time. I just don't personally read them. I just find that the method of trying to figure out how many lines and dashes just does not jibe with my brain, and that's okay. If it is a thing that speaks to you, go for it. But I also had a little bit of trouble because all of these are, similar lines and dashes that can mean different things when they are turned. So this way, 5 lines this way could mean ash, but 5 lines this way could mean something else. So, as we were talking through this last night, really, you are the person that's creating this piece. And it's either going to be for you and your use in your practice, or as a gift for someone, or a piece that you create with a specific meaning and intent. And as the creator and the artist, this is where the language kind of can be morphed and interpreted into the art. So I created Oak and Ash, and I was looking for something that was like protection and I think inspiration. And so I kept seeing this house. And so I drew several different, incarnations of this same house. And then I drew like what to me in my brain looked like a field with these lines like this, and the bumps indicating the rows of planting. And then each row had the 2 lines for the oak. And this is where it becomes a creative interpretation through art. So I use this, specifically the Oghams, as an opportunity to talk to people about being able to be creative. As an artist, you take this vision that you have, and when you start out with something in mind, which for me is mostly what this is about, you take what is in your mind and you want to create something that's like a safe, protected place for inspiration. And I just kept coming up with a house. And so even if these are not currently in the right rotation, I guess, or the right orientation, I guess I should say, I know what this is about and I know what this means. And so that is really the most important. If you can create something that means something to you, it's where you're allowed to take a little bit of artistic liberty. Again, I'm not particularly well-versed with runes, but I went with, I believe it's Gebo and Uruz. And I was trying to find a way to put the X together with this kind of slanted letter here. And what I ended up turning it into are 2 interlocking. This was supposed to be like a joyous union. into two interlocking cubes. And I really like the idea of those two cubes coming together, interlocking and becoming like joined solidly. That connection of those two, like the union of the two things together. So really, the most important thing that I recommend is to go in having an idea for a feeling or an intent, just like any prayer, really. And really, for me, art is my prayer. And so go into this like any other prayer with an intention. I would like to create something for my daughter's request for peace. And so now I can take this. To be clear, I honestly don't really like this purple outline part. So when I transfer it someplace else, I'll do it differently. And again, you can keep playing around because right now all we're using pencil, eraser, paper, and then everything else like this paint or those fine point liners or these highlighters. This is all extra. And if you want to throw glitter on it, go for it. I'm a huge fan of glitter. But really, you don't need anything more than this. Pencil, paper, eraser. That's it. That's all you really need to create something. And I'm kind of passionate about getting people to understand that, especially with the one that I created last night, these are all straight lines. Nothing fancy. If you can make a stick man, you can make this. A stick figure is just straight lines, and so is this. And everybody can create a stick figure. So I would love to stop hearing the phrase, I'm not artistic or I am not an artist, because all you need are straight lines. It's not much more difficult than that. And okay, I take that back. All you need are straight lines, a couple of pieces of generally easy to find paper and pencil and eraser, and the ability to play. Not letting our adult brains talk us out of that play and attempt to just find new things that kids are so good at. I think this part, not getting frustrated when you have to go through 17 iterations of a design before you get close to something that you like. Usually in a child, they will go with what makes them happy because they haven't been told yet enough that, okay, this is stupid. This means you're not a good artist. If we can untrain our brains to get rid of that and be a little more patient with ourselves, I think that a lot of adults would find they are far more creative than they give themselves credit for. So really, this is all I have for this basic intro. It ended up being almost 25 minutes. So I guess it's not much shorter than the class I gave last night. But I hope that this maybe gives you a little bit of inspiration. I also am interested in using tarot and the ideas of tarot. And honestly, you can use any language at all. It doesn't even have to be the ancient runic languages. You can use Latin. You can use any language. So let's say that my initials were R N L. Okay, so you can do the same thing by making art out of these initials. And it doesn't have to be anything much more difficult than that. You can make two people meeting here. There's the R. There's an L backwards L. I mean, you can do anything as long as you give yourself permission and creativity. Now, let's say you don't want to use the alphabet, but you want to use symbols. So an arrow can be a symbol for forward movement. That's not a great arrow, but there you go. However, many arrows, as some are familiar, can mean chaos or, just randomness. You can use a heart for love. Love is fine for hearts. And you can turn that into its own sigil. You would like forward momentum, forward progress with love. And you can make that for as many hearts as you as you have wish to be involved. So it doesn't have to be much more complicated than that. If anyone has any questions, please feel free. My words get jumbled up. I have a bit of a stutter, especially when I get excited about something. But please feel free to talk about it in the comments. Hit me up. Tell me about any ideas you'd like to share or see. And I think that will conclude our video for today. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I am sending out love and light to you all. Have a great day.